Bold prediction season still upon us, going to be upon us for a little while. How does this work? Well, allegedly, these are the things you claim you would bet your money on, and it's about as bold as you're willing to go. How bold? Well, let's take a look. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this first one about a 9.25. This is from Austin, from Fort Myers, Florida. Austin, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he's basically telling you Clemson and Florida State are both going to miss out on the ACC championship game this year. These are easily, like far and away, the number 1 and number 2 teams in terms of odds in the preseason there. Florida State actually the slight favorite to win the conference right now. That could fluctuate, but you get the picture. There is a pretty big gap between Florida State, Clemson, and then Louisville, who is at number 3, and then North Carolina is at number 4. Divisions are out this year, by the way. So you can't count on one of them making it and knocking the other one out because it's division play. No, they're taking the top 2 from the conference, and that's your conference championship game. So first off, what would have to happen to them? Well, the way we figured it, Florida State would probably need to lose to Clemson because Florida State has an easier remaining schedule. And so if they beat Clemson, LSU's their other hard game. That's not even a conference game. So I have no clue how Florida State is being kept out of the conference title game if they beat Clemson. So you probably need FSU to lose to Clemson because let's take a look at the Clemson schedule. There are more losable games here. They open against Duke. Riley Leonard's season opens September 4th. But they also go to Syracuse right after they play FSU. They got Wake. They go to Miami and NC State back-to-back. They got North Carolina late in the season. So certainly they'd be favored, but at least that's a little bit more treacherous a path than Florida State. I don't think this is going to happen. They're basically trying to find the Texas-Oklahoma scenario of 2022 in the Big 12, but for the ACC, I don't think it's happening. 9.25 out of 10. That's the boldness rating I give this. Now we hop on the jet, and we go all the way out to the West Coast because we've got a prediction that I have every bit as bold as the last one. At Playboy Trojan, he hit us up from Northridge, California, and he said USC is going to go undefeated. Wait for it, he's not done. They're going to go undefeated with a top 30 defense. I could hear some of you. Some of you heard me say USC goes undefeated, and you said, nah. And then you heard me say they have a top 30 defense, and there was the sound of screeching tires if you're driving. There was the sound of ceramic shattering against the floor as you tried to eat your cereal and listen to the pod, and thank you for that. Don't blame me. It's not my prediction. Blame Playboy Trojan. They're going to have a top 30 defense. Well, going undefeated is tough enough. Top 30 defense, they were 106th in the country in total yards per game allowed last year. And that was with them being 5th in forcing turnovers. So they had all kinds of crazy turnover luck. They were 94th in points per game allowed. Again, with the turnover factor heavily in their favor. Could have been even worse. They need to improve by about a touchdown per game in terms of points per game if they want to be the top 30 caliber defense that they need to be to make this prediction pan out. Oh, and by the way, they got to go undefeated, and it is a very tough walk out there. Not to mention they play Notre Dame, but it's a tough walk out there. A lot of you hate on the Pac-12 schedule. You shouldn't, because it's not easy this year. It's not easy by a long shot. They go to Oregon second to last week of the year. Oh, and by the way, they got Washington the week before that. They got Utah. Listen to this. They play Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA. Those 5 teams they play in a 6-week period to end the season. That's tough. So I'm putting a 9.25 on this as well. This is pretty bold. Next up, somehow I put an 8.5 on this one. But it's a long shot. So this is from Jim from Davidson, North Carolina. He says the national championship game will be 2 teams that have not made the playoff to date. So we're going to have newbies, 2 of them at least, crash the playoff, and 2 newbies are going to play for the national championship. Now, right off the bat, I had producer Jesse look up the odds to win the title, and out of the top 17, this criteria alone would eliminate 11 of them. So we're left with the USCs and Texases, Tennessee, Penn State, teams like that. That's who we're left with. Then we do a little bit deeper dive. According to Sports Reference, no team in the playoff era that started the year with plus 4,000 odds or lower has won the title. So you factor in that just as a nice little line in the sand of a cutoff, and that left us with 6 teams that we could choose from here. Remember, we need 2 of them to match up in the title game. It could be USC, it could be Texas, Tennessee, and Penn State are both included here. Texas A&M, Utah, good teams. They should be good this year, viable candidates. We're going to get 2 of them, though? The reason that I'm only going to put an 8.5 on that is because, number one, there are some good teams out of that group, but number two, where's the dominance? Where's the preseason dominant team? Where's the insurmountable foe out there? I don't think there is one. Even if the odds suggest otherwise, I don't think there is one. So I gave that an 8.5. And last up, let's go all the way to rivalry weekend. What would that be? Week 13. Auburn's going to win 9 games. And Auburn's going to win the Iron Bowl in the process. That is from one of our friends there in Enterprise, Alabama. And I put an 8 3/4 out of 10 on the boldness scale. The win total is at 7 right now. So they're going to win 2 more than that. Not out of the realm of possibility. Bama right now has a win total of 10. Bama in the Iron Bowl right now is a 14-point favorite at Auburn. Yes, those lines are out, by the way. So we were looking at their schedule, Auburn's schedule. We think they'll be a certain underdog in 5 games. At A&M, Georgia, at LSU, at Arkansas, probably in Bama. The Ole Miss game at home, very, very close spread. And I should have done my due diligence. I could have just looked at what our model thinks. Yes, the model is back. And I could have told you, but there was a lot going on today. I don't know what to tell you. So they got an easy non-conference schedule. They do have Vandy as one of their road games in conference. Not to dismiss the Commodores. We took over 3.5 wins as one of our best bets of the year for them. But you'd rather go there than like South Carolina, is my point. They've got the number 2 portal class. That changed as of a few hours ago. I'm going to put an 8.75 there. I think we'll have a pretty good feel early on, obviously, because you can't be losing games early and still get to 9 wins. But we'll also have a good feel of, hey, what kind of fit is Pate Thorne at quarterback there? Or are these receivers, 2 of which they got recently, are they immediate plug-and-play guys? What's the situation with Jarquez Hunter? And if he's not there, what's the situation with their run game? We'll know early on. 8.75, steep, but not undoable.